Hi, I'm Bridget with PotomacBeads.com. Join me today in creating this fun Zorro bracelet. If you do need any of the materials, they were listed at the beginning of the video as well as below me in the description area. You'll find a full list of materials as well as links to both PotomacBeads.com and .eu. So gather up your materials and come create with me. So to start our Zorro bracelet, I've already strung on 30 of my 11-Os and then come through one of my crystals, and that's going to start as my loop for my button clasp at the very end. And so coming out of those, I do have a needle on both of my ends of my thread, and I started with my Zorros. And going through the Zorros, you do want to make sure that for this step, you're always going through the point. So always making sure to go through that kind of end that points out. So starting with one of your needles, I already have my Zorro on there. And I'm going to go ahead and pick up my DiamonDuo and then go through my next Zorro, which this time I want to go through the opposite direction. So when they lay close to each other, they make that kind of space for our DiamonDuo. So again, here we're going to go through our Zorro going through the point, and then we're going to pick up a DiamonDuo, and then going through our next Zorro through the opposite direction. So you can start seeing kind of that design there. And then using our next needle, so I'm going to put that down and pick up my second needle and go through our DiamonDuo that's already there. And pick up another Zorro, and we're going to go through the opposite direction in the Zorros. And then pick up another Zorro going through the point end. And then through that DiamonDuo that's already there. And then through another Zorro through the opposite end. There we go. So you can start seeing our pattern coming to life here. And we're going to keep doing this step until we get to our desired length. So going back and forth between your needles, just working on adding your Zorros in either opposite direction and adding your DiamonDuos up until how long you want it. So now that I have my desired length here, so you can see the beginning of our Zorro bracelet, I already have 2 of my 11s added on to one of my needles, and I'm going to take my opposite needle and go through those same 2 11s. You can kind of pull that a little bit tight. And from there, on both needles, I'm going to add on 2 more. So 2 more 11s, and I'm going to go down through that second hole of my Zorro beads. And so doing the same with our opposite needle, I'm going to add on 2 of my 11s and going through that second hole of my Zorros. And so now we're going to be working our way across the edge. So I have my 15s and my MiniDuos. So between each space of my Zorros, I'm going to pick up 1 15 and 1 MiniDuo and 1 15 and go through my Zorros. and pull that. There we go. So we'll have the MiniDuo right in between those spaces. And once you kind of get this line down, the beads will start kind of laying out flat. So again, it's a 15 and a MiniDuo and a 15. And then going through those next two Zorros. So we're going to keep going along this edge and adding that MiniDuo in between each of these Zorros, and then doing it along the second edge as well. Okay, so now after adding on our MiniDuos in between our Zorros, we're coming out of our last Zorro here, and I'm going to add 3 11-Os, and I already did it to this top with my top needle. So I'm going to add 1, 2, 3 11s, and I'm going to go through the 11 right underneath of that crystal. So now both of my needles are kind of coming out of those 2 11s that are right underneath the crystal. And I'm going to go through to the opposite direction. I'm going to do the same with my first needle. So my first needle, I'm already in the middle. I'm going to continue through those 3 11s that I just added on. Make sure not to knot yourself in there. There we go. Okay, so now I'm on the outside. I'm going to add 1 11, 1 15, and 1 crystal, and then another 15, and 2 11s. And that's going to get me to my first MiniDuo, which I'm going to go through that second hole. So doing the same with the other needle. I'm going to pick up 1 more 11, and then 1 15, 1 crystal, 1 15, and 2 11s. And that's going to get me to my first MiniDuo on the opposite side. So using that pattern, I'm going to continue my way connecting each one of my MiniDuos. So from my first MiniDuo, it's going to be 2 11s, 1 15, 1 crystal, 1 15, and 2 11s, and then going through my next MiniDuo. Okay, so again, it's 2 11s, 1 15, 1 crystal, 1 15, 2 11s. So that's between each one of our MiniDuos. And we're going to do that both on the top row and with our second needle on our bottom row, up until we get to the end. So I'm just adding on my last section of seed beads and crystals, and I'm going to go through those first 2 seed beads that are already on the thread. And doing that on both sides, so you're going to be coming out of your seed beads with kind of 2 in the middle there. So with both needles, I'm going to add 1 seed bead of my 11s and let that kind of fall down. And then I'm going to add 1 crystal, and I'm going to go through that with both of my needles. Let that kind of come to a point right there. And using 1 needle, I'm going to go up through my button. And on top of my button, I'm going to go pick up an 11 and a crystal and an 11, and then go back down through the opposite hole. So picking up my second needle, I'm going to go through the opposite hole, and again through that 11 crystal and 11 that I just added on, and then down. And from there, I just want to pull it a little bit tight. And I'm going to go back through the crystal that's on the bottom side. And I'm going to do that with both of my needles. So picking up my second needle, I'm going to go through my crystal. And then here you want to make sure that you have it as tight as you need it. And then we'll go ahead and tie off our thread, and we'll be all set. Thank you for joining me, and I hope you enjoyed creating your own Zorro bracelet. Remember, if you do need any of the materials, they were listed at the beginning of the video as well as below me in the description area. You'll find links to both PotomacBeads.com and .eu. Remember to like and subscribe if you'd like to be kept up to date with any new tutorials or new products we have out for you. And as always, we love to hear from you, so make sure to comment below and let us know how this design helped inspire your own.